What's going on? This video gonna be about Scottie Pippen upset his portrayal in The Last Dance. And a lot of people walk around thinking that Pippen and Jordan were boys. And they definitely were a lethal 1-2 punch. One of the best 2-1 punches in the history of the game. However, Scottie's been underrated, underappreciated. Now, Dennis Rodman called him top 5 ever. I said, no, that's way too high. I'd say 45 to 65 because I can think of a lot of guys that were better. I'll say this as a compliment to the side piece. There you can make a case for it as the side because there's not a lot of guys who could defer like him, hold up a high level of respect on the court, playing with a better player, and yet hold their own. And he definitely was strong on defense and he was versatile. However, he had moments where he was inconsistent. Of course, we don't even want to talk about that final minute against with Tony Kukoc hitting the game-winning shot and him pouting on the bench. I always said the winning is cure-all in sports. And I always still say had he led Portland over the Lakers during when Shaq was peak prime and Kobe was on the Cumberland field, had they won that Western Conference Finals 20 years ago and he goes and beats Reggie for the chip and he has another ring, we have a different outlook on Scottie Pippen. But he had a lot of things that worked against him. Still, having said all that, without him in that 98 season, the Bulls don't win. And out that game 6, when he was obviously in pain and hurt, they don't win without him. When Phil made the choice to switch Scottie on Mark Jackson in the Eastern Conference Finals in 98, they don't win without him because to me, that was the turning point. Jordan and Reggie Miller cancel each other out. But Mark Jackson had to go against that size and that strength of what Scottie was putting there. And Scottie's defense on the perimeter against point guards, as he did against Magic Johnson in 91, if you follow him, he's one of the best defenders ever. In his defensive game, he could definitely lock on you, So, and I understand why he's upset. He should have been paid. They should have tore the contract, gave him another deal. And there should have been more incentive by Michael Jordan to say, hey, I need this guy, take care of him. And there should have been more of that. Props to Horace Grant, because it comes across, obviously, ESPN and all these other networks are in bed with Michael Jordan and they're going to slurp him like he's a gulp at 7-Eleven. They're not going to it's supposed to be a documentary about the whole team. And they made it like, as Karl Malone pointed out, they made like a one-man band. Jordan don't get that far without Scottie Pippen. And that's a fact. Now, is Scottie as great as him? No. But for what he brought to him as a sidekick and as a teammate, he could be just as aspects very important for neutralizing to making that triangle work and the way they played. So anyway, and I understand Scottie Pippen had a right to be upset. He ain't getting his due, and that's this documentary in a lot of ways was like a mockery, and also it was a self-egotistical, self-centered part to put Michael Jordan and make all these other people look bad. But in actuality, Scottie, Horace Grant, and Isaiah Thomas especially come off as the winners. Doesn't really do anything for Michael Jordan because if you respect him as a player, you do. But in some cases, it almost makes him come off like a megalomaniac. And obviously, Jerry Krause looks horrible and Jerry Reinsdorf look horrible too. But that's another story. Phil Jackson stays neutral when you're looking at it from the context. Dennis Rodman, same as you go in. But you could tell he had a dual side and he knew how to turn it on and turn it off. But Scottie always seems to not get the bottom end of the stick. Anyway, that's my thoughts and takes. Feel free to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the bell rings in the video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. And it takes to make a team, everybody is needed, and everybody should get respected no matter what. Peace.